Hi guys, welcome along. It is Misano. Finally, we're here. And tonight it is going to be a mixed grid. We've got Pro and Pro-Am out at the moment. And there is another 3 minutes left for their qualifying. Michael Thomas, who we're on with now, is setting the standard, a 133.680 it seems at the minute there. Of course, Michael Thomas, a very strong driver here in Supercharged Motorsports, so looking forward to seeing how that goes. Just turn down the volume in my headset as it's very loud. So let's get into it here, guys and girls. Oh, don't know why that's popped out there, but it is. Anyway, no, so let me see. So at the minute we're on with Michael Thomas as we are going around, but I'm going to jump back to another few drivers now in a second. And go from there. As we're on with Michael going around here one more time. I think he's just setting himself up for a lap there as well. I hope you're all keeping well and hopefully you're enjoying yourselves today. And actually what I do need to do is set up the Google Documents for tonight's race as well. So I'm going to do that while we're going around. So don't mind me for a minute. I'm just going to mute the mic and let you enjoy the sound. And now I just have that set up there as well. Sorry about that. I just always have to make sure that's running now. As of course Aaron and the guys are all about that. So now we're going to have any second now. The silvers and the arms can now leave the pits. So silver and arms are leaving the pits now. So that's Pooley pulling in like a good lad. Let's see who's actually on a lap. I think would be the best thing to do, wouldn't it? Kushti, what is the crack with you, young man? It's definitely been a minute. Castellano's given up now because he has to do so. Gary is on a lap. He is entitled to finish this lap. But he's given up on that one there as well. Matthew Gamble is now done as well. Laurie is just about to finish his lap there and not improving, although Andre Batak may improve here in that lovely looking BMW. Let's see, here goes the famous number 4. Of course, lovely seeing all these beautiful liveries as always. Yeah, I do commentate up and down, as you'll see on our Twitch or the YouTube page for Supercharged Motorsport, and we do have endurance races. The Formula 1, we actually have international paddock covering our Formula 1, so you won't see the Formula 1 on our channel, although I really should get a copy of the race and put it on there as well, because it's quite fun. So that's the end of them. So we're going to jump straight on now to our good friends. Oh, look at that. The Lexus is back with Oliver Anderson, although Oliver may be in the wrong split. But listen to that noise. That's just a thing of beauty. One of the most angriest cars out there. And it got quite a nice bop in the new Kunos bop, so makes it more interesting. Of course, in Season 4 we're going back to using the LFM bop, so we'll be seeing an awful lot more of these older cars hopefully in use, as they're all queuing up to get going now. Do I know of any leagues to race in? I wonder. Obviously, you're more than welcome to join in with our guys anytime. No problem whatsoever. Just give us a shout and jump across. So we've Aaron Holloway out there today. And I'm going to just let everybody know now, Aaron Holloway has agreed for me to make him a livery. No matter what I do, he's going to use it for a full season. So if you have any ideas for the people that are watching, throw in your ideas. I'll do anything. I've done a dildo car, I've done some beautiful liveries and some absolutely awful liveries. And Aaron Sparks down further. So we've got quite a big field this evening, 39 cars around the Misano. So good to see that for a change. And Aaron Sparks is a driver on the upwards. And I absolutely love the liveries he comes up with. Of course, I do make liveries myself and enjoy that side of things as well, so I do appreciate seeing other people's work. Push, they go over to my YouTube channel. I don't think there's any ads over there, mate. I know Twitch does like its ads. Just search Supercharged Motorsport on YouTube. You'll get it live, and of course you'll actually get better stream quality, I find, watching it from YouTube over Twitch, being absolutely honest. So yeah, if you're having issues with adverts, jump across to the YouTube channel. So let's have a look here now. So the difference, I think, is fair. So that's the last of the Pro and Pro-Ams there. T Miller, a 135, 112. Not bad from a silver driver, a 135.3. It's only 2 tenths down. We might have a few silver drivers maybe pushing the boundaries with some of the Pro-Ams and NAMs. And Pro drivers. That's very true, Tree. We'll just sub and they'll go away. That's so true. I don't like pushing that on people though. That's why I give them the other option if they want to use YouTube. And of course we stream both live on YouTube and Twitch. And if anyone doesn't know Trevel by now, he runs a thing called League Full of Idiots, and I absolutely love the idea that they're running with. They have time attack servers where you can jump on, and once a month the track changes, and they do a 2.4 at the end of that month. I think it's the last Friday of the month for that track. And it's something, once I kind of get my heart back into racing myself, I will be more than happy then to give it a go. I'm just kind of in my shooter game element at the minute, but I will be kind of jumping back because I'm opening up a MX5 iRacing League. But the thing about it is I won't be doing commentary on that because I plan on racing on it. It's going to be free of charge, but I want it where it's just drivers that are going to go out and enjoy it. The game pretty much plays itself, so we won't be doing stewarding, and it's just going to be people who want to show up and race. The MX5 is a free car in iRacing, and we'll probably use the first season full free tracks, so at least you know, at the end of the day, that people who want to race in iRacing, they don't need to pay for tracks, pay for the car. They can just join our league. Obviously they pay their monthly subscription to iRacing, and at least that way they get to race. As I'm quite aware, there's an awful lot of iRacing leagues that charge entries and stuff like that, and for the sake of, I think it's only 20 quid to run a server for 5-6 races, whatever it may be. Why not do it and have a bit of a laugh? But on here at the minute with Mr. Healy doing a great job. I'm going to jump back to Orlando. He's up a bit of time. Oh, look at Pedro Barta, a 134.6 and improving. So he's after jumping even Andre Batek. So there's a guy who's out of position in splits, and this is a nice little thing of that. And Trevel, thank you so much for resubscribing with your Prime. I do appreciate that, mate. Absolute gent. So Mr. Oliver Anderson up into P20 as well, flying it. Here we go. Germani's going to jump up as well, up into 18th. I tell you one thing, a few of these guys in the silver and arm are starting to really show they have a bit of pace. Very interesting. Orlando here as well on a very nice lap at the minute. Go the MTG boys. That's what we like to see, Roo. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be hard to know who's going to be where. But it is absolutely going to be captivating, I think, for this evening. Orlando's up a lovely time here. That puts him up into P14. Some of these guys are on it. Finley Gamble there. Just yellow flag at the minute. We're up to 39 drivers. Aaron Holloway yet to set a lap yet. Adam Friday, the absolute legend that he is. No matter what, he'll drive that Honda. And he is improving on this lap as well. May gain a place or two, so we're going to stay on with Adam Friday. And this is the thing, you're nearly racing, my lads, if you don't leave a gap. This is going to hurt Adam. So it is up to the driver behind to set themselves a gap up. So Adam gets around there. Because I didn't even get to see much of the Pro and Pro-Am cars on track, so I do apologise. Just getting the few last bits set up. And anyone who doesn't know, it was a mayhem just starting the race, so we've upgraded our service to the UK servers, which will have a better ping for the drivers and be much smoother, and that process literally happened this morning for all our servers that we have. And yeah, there was one or two settings that needed to be changed. For some reason, when the guys merged them, that it went back to 32 entries and wouldn't let any more in. So it was quite interesting before the race, and then that with other guys with SimGrid, so very interesting. And on Friday already up nearly another 3 and a bit 10, so going to gain another few positions. But look at this, Orlando up in the P14. That's epic. Only 0.8, so the whole way down to 19th is a second off. Just barely a second off. So that goes to show you how tight it is around this track this evening. In the top 19, a second splits them at the minute. And then all the way down to 30, it goes down to 2 seconds. So, yeah, it's super close. Super, super close. Try to give everyone a shout is going to be hard. Well, give Dara a shout because he is driving the beautiful Bentley. Although his livery isn't showing up for me. And not many people enjoy driving this, just for the simple fact that it's right-hand drive. They got so used to driving the left-hand drive GT3 cars that it is just quite a tough one for them. So fair play to Dara, because definitely not easy. Definitely not easy. Let me see who's on a hot lap now, because I know Dara's after having a bit of a moment. I'm going to jump on with Finley Gamble. Matty Gamble's wee cousin, as far as I remember. Let's see what Matty can do. Can Matty do that? And actually, one thing, if Matty does watch this, let me know, are you teaching Finley at and about the game? Because Matthew Gamble has been probably one of the best drivers I've come across in this game in terms of consistency. And look at this, Nathan Warren's in the beautiful looking Bentley there as well. Oh, that's a lovely job from Nathan. He's going to gain a bit of time and possibly position with that. Or does Aaron Sparks hold him off? Aaron Sparks barely holds him off. Aaron Sparks literally done a 1:35.942. Nathan Warren a 1:35.952. But guys, that is the fastest lap. It goes actually to Mr. Vining in the Mercedes, a 1:33.630 versus Michael Thomas's 1:33.680. Then you had Jason Pooley and Matthew Gamble in the exact same time, a 1:33.777 for both Pooley and Gamble. Pooley must have sorted his lap out first. Then Piccioni just behind on a 1:33.922. Gary Smith a 1:33.987. That's unbelievable. Chris Tedder then as well in P9. Of course for Amigos. Giuseppe Castellano, our good friend. 1:34.10, exactly 0.5 of a second off P1. So that was unbelievable. Literally down to 19th, 1 second covers them. And then all the way down to 31st, 1.9 seconds covers. Then it's a small bit more for a few of the drivers. They may not have got a clean lap in as well. Oh, wow. That was definitely interesting. So we're going to wait for the next one to go. Oh, Pooley, you're lucky that there's no session on, because I'd be enforcing those rules. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Of course, I'm going to do a little ride through all the cars as I normally do and have a look at deliveries and try to remember everyone's name, but that's probably not going to go to happen. What I might actually do to try help myself, if I go to the bottom side of the grid a bit. It's 22, and then if I do... Right, I think of myself safely covered for once it resets after another few seconds. There we go. So 5 minutes to go. So we're going to go through all the drivers. I'll do my best to get through every single one of them. But of course, we can never guarantee that as well. Oh, bear with me, bear with me. Lock that into place. Controls, disable. Not just on about myself. So, beautiful Mahusive grid this evening. And in pole position is Mr. Chris Fining, with Michael Thomas in P2. These two guys, T1SR versus Mr. Thomas as well, and both teammates. Who's going to come out on top? They had a great battle in the last race as well. Then we have Jason Pooley, who had an epic race on Sunday. Unfortunately, with my throat, I missed that. Beside him then is, of course, Matty Gamble, a fan favourite, well known in communities. Then we have Dino Piccioni for M4R Racing as well, with Gary Smith. Of course, there he is an Amigos driver as well as Supercharged driver. Gary, very knowledgeable as well. This is YouTube there. I'll give him his YouTube a little shout out. GS Sim Racing, he's got some great track guides and kind of insights on other cars and other racing series as well. Then Morris Bouton next. And beside Morris, we have Yorio Simzik in the beautiful looking Fezza. Then Chris Tedder, of course, for Amigos Racing Team and Amigos League. They race on Monday night in Epic League. I have missed a few races, so sorry, Chris. And beside him, then Giuseppe Castellano, an absolute legend as well. Then behind them, we've got Ado Copes and then John Wilson lining up next in the grid, doing a very, very good job. Then a P30, we have Craig Hewlett. For some reason, his livery is not showing up. That's normally a Supercharged Motorsport livery. Then in P14 is Angelo Orlando for M4R Squadra as well. Absolutely great lads there. Great to see them in here with Marco Lowry and Pedro Barta next for M4R. And I'm not sure then. Pedro just races for himself. Mind the gap. Then behind Pedro, we have Andre Batek and then Tom Solis. Andre Batek, a legend. Tom Solis representing League Full of Video 2, I would have mentioned earlier on there. Then we have Roberto and Elliot Levin next. Of course, Roberto drives for M4R Squadra. And then, of course, our good man, Andre Batek. Then we've got Oliver Anderson, an absolute gem of a dude. I absolutely love this man to bits. He's a legend. Crazy bastard, but love him. Then we've Alessandro Garamani. Then after that, we've got Marquez and Kowalski together. I love both of these liveries. That's absolutely... The Mind the Gap one stands out a mile. And of course, I love this livery, regardless of him having our lovely logo on it or not. He's an absolute legend, and that's a standout livery that is there. Then behind Kowalski, we've got Mr. M. Healy and T. Miller next. Both beautiful looking cars. Of course, the Mercedes. Surprised people to pick the Mercedes. I find it very understeery myself, but then again, they might have talent. Then we have Wilson Horvat. And then we're going to jump on to the Polycots. Both Polycots racing here this evening there. Absolute legends as they are. Then behind the Polycots, then we have Aaron Holloway and Aaron Sparks. So a race to the Aarons here. I'm going to say Aaron Sparks has the legs on Holloway just to cause a bit of rivalry between them. Then behind them, looks like we have Nathan Moran and then Loris Ferretti. So there next, of course, Nathan Moran representing a few leagues on his car. Then we have Adam Friday and then Finley Gamble, doing a phenomenal job there as well. And then on to the last three drivers there. And of course, I don't have names in front of me. It's going to take a second. I know that's Nathan Moran to the first one, as far as I remember. And then, yeah, it is there. I can see it. And then Lewis Ferretti. Well, Nathan Moran's back up there. That's my bad. Who is this? Oh, it's Dara. Jesus Christ, Dara. Why isn't your livery showing up for me? He has a Jordan livery. Then we have Milos Novanti. And then Josh Walker in last position there. But last doesn't always mean the worst thing here. With such a big grid here, as you'll see this evening. It definitely is not a bad thing being last in case, because turn one, just have a quick look around it before we get going, is going to be crazy. Tight line is what you need in, but then of course into the next section you need to start cutting back across, and if you have 2 or 3 wide going in here, it's going to cause disaster here and also on the exit here, because you need to take this one kind of tight enough to then open up this corner here. Obviously it's going to be hard on the first lap. I think if you stay on the outside, get the inside and run around the outside here, you've got a lovely chance of gaining a few positions. You're going to force the other car to maybe brake a bit later, get the corner wrong, do a bit of a cutback, and away you go with the inside line and dictate the next few corners as well. This track is all about track limits. I'm not going to go through the full track here now, but here we go with the race start. Let's enjoy, everybody. Look at that, beautifully done, beautifully done. So let's jump back across, if it doesn't let me. Turn 1 is tidy enough at the minute, as is turn 2. It's not too bad at all. On board here now as well, so I need to try and get this camera to go up to the front for some reason. It's just not pulling across. Why isn't this working for me? Always the technical issue with me. Yeah, I'm just stuck here now at the minute, guys, so bear with me. There we go, it's back now, of course it is. So let's jump up here and have a look. So Vining is leading there for Michael Thomas. Matthew Gamble has stayed then up in 3rd position, got the jump on Mr. Pooley. Then we've got Gary Smith next, Piccioni. Then we have Simsik, Bhutan, Chris Tedder kind of stays where he is, Castellano, Cops, and you can see there a string of cars flying along as we go. It's a beautiful looking sight there. Back then for Oliver Anderson in P16. Now there is gaps everywhere. Kowalski's just after getting by Barta there now. Back further, Solis and Healy. Solis under a little bit of pressure there as well, as it looks like Walker was trying to go for the move. It's super close even at the back at the minute, but Walker's done very well, because don't forget he did start last. Aaron Holloway's just getting back by Aaron Sparks as well, so these two having a bit of a battle. Going to jump back up further here. Michael Thomas 0.4 of a second off his teammate there at the minute. Mercedes versus Aston, both front engine cars. Two very different engines, in fairness. I'm pretty sure the Aston uses a GT4 engine with a route restrictor on it, as far as I remember. And they're after pulling away. Matty Campbell is still sticking with them, but Pooley's dropping off a little bit. And Chris Tedder and Bhutan. Chris Tedder going up the inside. Bhutan doesn't want to fight that. He feels he can try and go for a cutback, but Tedder being very, very, very experienced at racing, and I know he is a fan of this track. I'm expecting some nice things out of him. Bhutan expecting to go up the inside here. This is the thing, you're going to have drivers taking risks that are a little bit of unnecessary, but luckily enough, Bhutan absolutely doesn't go for Castellano. Gets a lovely move done there, and Batek's going to lose 1, possibly 2 positions there, as Orlando's side by side as well. Orlando's a little bit back though. It looked like they were side by side from the view I had a second ago, and Batek is under a bit of pressure, but holding firm at the minute there as well. And while we're discussing that, Polycott's after getting a move done, let's go back and have a quick look at that one. So this is in a replay now at the minute. So it looks like the Beamer ran a bit wide, got a little bit squirrely, and Polycott just went for it around the outside, sends it lovely, and gets the job done. And now the other Polycott then in right behind it there. And it looks like there is a yellow flag with Darragh Walsh and Polycott there. So quick replay again, let's see what's happened there. Oh, Darragh just goes in way too hot and drops it, and unfortunately there There's not much he can do, but he keeps his foot on the brakes, which is nice. Does anything else happen there? No, I don't know why Polycott went. Anyway. So Chris Polycott is now into the pits there. I don't know what's happened. Sim6 after getting by Piccioni. But runs very, very wide, and now it looks like Piccioni's going to be under pressure from Tedder. Tedder's going to try string it out around the outside. He's opening up the corner. He takes more of the curb, and Tedder gets up into P7 just for a second, though. He gets the sniff of Piccioni's fighting back, but Tedder's going to keep going, although he's nowhere to go there. With the wider line, though, he has the inside line, and Tedder's going for here. Oh, lovely driving. Piccioni didn't see him there. Tiny bit of a touch. And now we have, it looks like Mr. Bhutan trying to get involved with this as well. Absolutely crazy stuff. Chris Tedder fighting his way up into P6. Possibly next up the road from... Look at this behind. This is just crazy. As we look at that, Piccioni's going to try and send it around the outside of Tedder, which he's successfully done at the minute. He's squeezing Tedder. Tedder, though, is sticking to the inside line. Tedder pushing him very wide there. Piccioni knows the inside line. Tedder is doing everything. And Bhutan just behind is having a fight there with Copes. And they're all trying to get involved. And behind them as well, it looks like Lowry's trying to get involved. This is unbelievable. If we were looking for some battles, it's definitely happening here. It looks like Copes and Bhutan are after switching position there as well. So as that's going on, Miller is just literally after getting by 11 there now. Kowaleski is right there also. Oh, they've had a bit of a touch. Levin and Kowaleski have come together there. Let's try and get a better view of that one and see what happens. So you see now the overtake with the Mercedes. Up the inside he goes. Very, very, very close with track limits. Bhutan was there. He wasn't left enough room. It was tight racing. That was just an unfortunate racing incident in my eyes. Whether the stewards might see that after, that's going to be interesting. What's happened Healy here as we come back off that replay? Let's have a look at this one. So Healy's right behind there. Oh, he just drops himself. That was nobody's fault but his own. Oh my god. Tom Solis barely got away with that one there. That was unbelievable. Fair play to Tom. And as we are looking at that, then Miggy Oli's after getting by Wilson. Up ahead now, Cops and Tedder are added now. Tedder has dropped back a little bit from Piccioni now. Piccioni starting to pick up the pace, but Tedder now is going to be a bit of a cork in the champagne bottle, as they say. Lyric saying, good luck Florian, Rue Castelo, love to see a full grid. Ninja Deans, no one likes a close in the back either. I don't know about that, it depends on the person. But absolutely flying it there. Boyding though out in front by nearly a second now to Michael Thomas as well, which is unbelievable. Thomas sitting back there. Matthew Gamble is now 3.3 seconds off him, as Pooley right there with him as well. So Matthew Gamble racing for the 2ID racing team as well. What can he do? I think he's the only 2ID racing tonight. I don't see Darius there. And of course Glenn has retired due to the LFM mix, but hopefully we'll be back next season, as I was discussing earlier. Looking there, Gary Smith's kind of just in his own pace, but at the minute for Gary I think this is good because he doesn't have anyone behind him, anyone ahead of him. He can just focus on with just hitting comfortable lap times. He's at 1.7 second clear as the Simsic. He's about 4.5 seconds off the guys in front. Preserve those tyres now, let the guys over race, overuse those tyres. It is extremely warm on the track. Tyre wear will be an issue today. It's Misano, especially when it's melting out there, 40 plus degrees track temperature. And here we have Piccioni looking to get by Simsic. Simsic's having none of that. Oh, Piccioni though seems to have that BMW set up beautifully, able to absolutely fly around it. And Batek and Bhutan have swapped positions. Batek has got by. So then we have Giuseppe Castellano next as well, sitting there with Bhutan looking for a way through. But we're going to go back to the back battle here because we have Novinity, then we have Adam Friday right behind him, Aaron Sparks right behind him, and Dara Wall's right there as well. These guys are giving it everything. Aaron Sparks getting by Adam Friday. He's got this massive pace in that McLaren. And there is a bit of damage on the McLaren ahead, but it looks like Aaron has a bit of damage on the front of his car as well, so should be a level enough playing field. We do know from my own personal experience driving the McLaren, it doesn't really love driving behind other cars. The aero wash, you really can feel it, but I'm sure he's feeling that, because that is huge damage on the front of that car. Now look at Aaron Sparks up the inside, gets a lovely drive out there, and that's Aaron Sparks up another position there. He will be loving that one there. Dara Walsh looking to try to get involved in the Boatley. Adam Friday is struggling here, but Adam Friday will keep it going. That Honda will try and kill him, but the Honda around here I'd say would be amazing for about 10 minutes before the tyres absolutely die to bits. Looking back then at Walker, Polycott and Germani right behind Nathan Warren there as well. 3.3 seconds, all I needed to hear. You drive a Golf with cool people. Who are you trying to kid? I don't drive a Golf. McLaren, pfft. The McLaren in the game. I drive a VXR or OPC in real life, you crazy woman. Jeff, they're having a good battle there. Noventi's after dropping a few more positions. Probably should think about using his pit stop now. So to anyone who has not watched these before as well, it is one mandatory stop. There's no time limit or kind of sector where you need to stop. There's no mandatory tyres. It's only a splash and dash for fuel. You can stop and literally take 2 litres of fuel, 1 litre of fuel, or if you're going to change tyres, you know you're going to change it, you could fuel light and then just do fuel and tyres. I don't drive a Golf. But looking back on what's going on here, oh, before we do that, a little bit of coming together, let's have a bird's eye view of that. And I'm fighting with Dara. Coming onto the exit. Oh, Adam literally just got a bit sideways, so that was just unfortunate more than anything else. These things can happen. Matthew Gambino 6.5 seconds off, but look at that, Pooley's right beside him as well. This is the battle for P3 out there at the minute. And even here, P7, P6, Piccioni and Simsik there now. On the inside with him here. He has the job done. Piccioni is picking up positions like there's no tomorrow. He's having a great first stint so far. Only 10 minutes gone, my voice is already half gone. I was preserving it and I'm starting to feel it already. That was great driving there from Mr. Piccioni. And away he goes on his merry way. Chris Tedder though coming back into it. Look at this train. So from Piccioni you've got Simsik, Tedder, Copps, Lowry, Hewlett. Then a second back to Batek. While this going on, Bouton and Castellano. Castellano has got the job done on Bouton. Bouton unfortunately going backwards at the minute. He had a very good qualifying start and P7 is down 7 positions at the minute there. Oliver Anderson in the Lexi has not got much attention here as well. And Oliver does love this car. He's delighted that the Bop kind of has it not massively competitive, but it's thereabouts, so he's delighted to be back in that car. Oliver's like myself, he loves driving the kind of mad older cars, and he does this for so much fun more than anything else, and I absolutely love to see it. Obviously great to have serious racers in, but it's great to have Oliver in, and that's another position there as Ron Bouton is struggling out there. I'm wondering, is the tyres overheating a bit too soon on him, as Kowaleski in the background there as well was getting by Horvat as well and has got the job done. Back further, Germani and Polycott having a nice little ding dong here, and Jay Walker and Jay Wilson, they're all involved here. This is absolutely nail biting stuff, even down in P28. Oh, the Ferrari absolutely sends it, gets it completely wrong. That was lovely driving by Polycott, and Walker gets absolutely caught out by that, and it's very easy to be caught out when you're driving that close to somebody else. They hit the brakes, you just hit it that bit too late, and by the time you realise it, then you're off into the marble and the dirty side of the track, and away you go. You lose all your grip and off the track. But that was great driving there from Polycott. Very well placed. His car there with Wilson now right behind him for a bit. Aaron Sparks and Ferretti next behind there as well. So Sparks keeping him quite honest, if we are absolutely fair about that. Back up further than Kowaleski and Horvat is still at Kowaleski's looking for a way by. Then Marquez, Orlando and Bhutan are all behind Oliver Anderson as well. So, oh, look at this. Is he going to go for it? No, he's showing the nose. He's showing he has the pace. He wants him to get out of the way. He's going to try force an error. Showing his nose, showing in the mirror there that he is there. And maybe making Mr. Miller sweat that little bit, as he is going to go for here, I think. He's lining himself up. He's literally side by side. He's slightly ahead. He just needs to absolutely keep his bottle here, although the inside line gets better traction on the exit of the corner. And he cuts off the inside now. Kowalski goes around to the outside now. Kowalski's trying to set this up. He might go for the switchback here. He is going to go for the switchback. He gets a slightly better drive out, but the Mercedes power is keeping Mr. Miller ahead here. Although Kowalski here is a nicer drive now, but it's going to be too late again. He's swinging it out again, but he's nowhere to go. Oh, he's gone ahead, but I think he's made it work. That was a gorgeous move there. Absolute pure commitment and bravery there to get that done. And also Miller, I think, being quite polite as well and didn't really overfight that one too much. And we're back on now with Bhutan, Orlando and Oliver Anderson. Oliver Anderson is doing his very best now to keep Bhutan behind. Up further, Craig Hewlett's having a phenomenal race back in the Macca. This is what I was expecting out of Craig Hewlett. Of course, very proud to have him in the Supercharged Motorsports racing team as well. And of course, Chico Lindfar is kind of managing the ACC side of that, with Adam Locke being the overall manager looking after the iRacing as well. And of course, overseeing the ACC with Chico Lindfar also. Chris Tedder back with SimSick, and of course behind him we've got Marco Lowry, Cops there as well, and Craig. So this is just absolutely what the doctor ordered, and Batek is looking to get involved now as well. Up further again, Pooley is still putting the pressure on with Matty Gamble, but other than that then, Matty Gamble's doing 9 seconds off Michael Thomas and Vineham. I think Thomas is just kind of sitting out there waiting for a while. That looks like Finlay Gamble's going to be lapped soon enough. But Finlay can just enjoy it and take time. He's actually not last. He's 2 places ahead. He's ahead of Navinity and on Friday. And I know he is quite new to sim racing as well. So it's great to see him in there having a go at that one. On by way, Mr. Levin and Wilson here led him for Podium Hunters, looking for a way by. Not much you can do there. Polycott, Wilson and Healy still at it as well. This is going to be all about tyre management now and what way you go. Do you go for tyres? Do you try a one stopper? Do you try just go for literally one set of tyres from start to finish on a splash and dash? It's all to be played out as Chris Tedder decides to get into pits now and stop fighting and get into clear air by the looks of it. Depends how clear the air is going to be, and this is a very, very, very long pit entrance as well. Or was that? So that was the stop. I just wanted to make sure he done a splash and dash. Chris Tedder's going to the end. And unfortunately for Chris, he has come straight out into a back marker. Or essentially, they're still racing on the same bit of tarmac for position. So I shouldn't say back marker because it is for position. So Jay Walker has every right to be where he is, and Chris is going to have to be eventful to get by there. Polycott, Wilson are still having a go. Levain is still having a go. Bit of a change around here, just literally seeing at the last second. Orlando has got by Anderson. Kowalski has got by Marquez. So Bhutan and Orlando have got by Oliver Anderson there. Back and further, Marco Lowry, Cops, Hewlett, Batek still at it there. Of course, Chris is out of the picture now, and SimSick just doing what he needs to do to stay in front as well, and doing a great job there. And Pooley and Gamble take 52. And this is what is from the view of Matty Gamble when he's looking backwards. close to getting there. Hooley's looking for it. Matty Gamble's not going to crack under that though. Matty Gamble's too calm of a driver. And Pooley knows that. Pooley needs to try and find a kink in his armour. Hasn't been able to find it as of yet. As Wilson has dropped behind. Aaron Holloway's making moves as well. Aaron Holloway has got by Wilson there. Germani gone around the outside there, or in the inside the night and morning, has actually been able to hold it off there as well. Interesting. Pedro Barta 0.4 of a second off Horvat as well, so Pedro Barta now is starting to feel a little bit racy. Horvat and P19, Kowaleski and Anderson still having a bit of a ding-dong. Oliver Anderson will do what he can to stay ahead. I'm sure people now may be suffering with a bit of tyre wear, especially in this heat, as we are now going 20 minutes into this race. And still action from front to back there. Nathan Warren still trying to find a way back up now to Germani. Barva, Horvat, Miller and Marquez all racing. Then you've got Kowaleski. Well, he was going for it there to see it in the foreground, but he's decided to get away from that one. Oliver Anderson starting to catch A. Orlando as well. That's exactly what we've been dying to see. A bit of good action here and good racing. M. Bouton next is fighting with Simsik there. And Cops and Lowry have literally just done positions. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, it was done before that. Looks like Lowry had got a bad exit from the last corner and was a sitting duck. Andre Batek up in 8th position. Must be getting quite dizzy there with Craig Hewlett now just ahead of him. Then Piccioni is looking to try and fight with Mr. Gary Smith as we come off the replay. So now Gary has found himself in a bit of action, but Gary also has pulled in time to Pooley now 3.7 seconds off them. What Gary would probably want to hope for here is him and Piccioni can just work together, maybe leave the fighting for a little bit, catch up with the guys ahead and then go for it. For me, that would be probably the smarter thing to do, is just focus on that. But then again, easy saying that when you're this side of the wheel. They'll be absolutely giving it everything. No doubt about that. So just going to run through the order there. So Chris Polycott has left. I don't know what the issue was for him. But then we've got Finley Gamble in P38 now. Novinity is in P37. Adam Friday's in P36. Ferretti, so Loris Ferretti is in P35. Darrell Walsh is in P34. Tom Solis is in P33. Aaron Sparks is in P32. Josh Walker is in P31. Of course, Tedder after his pit stop, so Chris Tedder is in P30. With Healy in P29 in the Ferrari after starting last. That's still a very good start from him. Then we have Andy Polycott then in P28. Jay Wilson is in P27. Nathan Warren's in P26. Alessandro Garamani is in P25 with Stephen Wilson in P24. Aaron Holloway in P23. Then we've Elliot Levin in P22. Then we have Roberto Migoli in P21. I will ruin their names. Pedro Barta, of course, in P20, the Portuguese stallion that he is. Then we've got Marquez, as we just seen the overtake there. So Nuno Marquez's teammate is in P19, with Horvat then in P18. T. Miller's in P17. Oliver Anderson, P16. Simon Kowaleski is in P15. Then we have Angelo Orlando in P14. Morris Bouton in P13. Then we have Euros Simsik in P12. Giuseppe Castellano in P11. Then we have Marco Lowry in P10. Ido Copes is in P9. Andre Batic is in P8. Craig Hewlett is in P7. Dino Piccioni trying to move on Gary in there in P6, with of course Gary then in P5. Jason Pooley's in P4. Wee Matty Gamble ahead in P3. Michael Thomas is in P2 going through a back marker there. And then his teammate then Chris Vining in that beautiful looking Mercedes is in P1. That is a quick rundown for you there. Gonna jump back on with Batek because Batek's gonna try and move but has decided to get back out of it. And this is the kind of racing I've wanted to see out of Batek. And as I said, a tiny touch, that's not the kind of racing. Every time I go to give this man a compliment. But he's massively improved. So let's see what he can do here. Although you see there, he is under a bit of pressure due to that exit. And right ahead of him there, that looked like then that Craig Hewlett has jumped into the pits. So Craig has decided to pit there. Very interesting there. So let's see where he comes out as well into this one. Oh, as Batek is off. And I'd say it takes a huge hit in terms of time penalty. And has gained a bit of an advantage. But then again, we'll wait to see what happens after. So Piccioni's after getting by Smith as we're looking at that here. Let's go back and have a look there. So he gets a much nicer drive, I'm assuming, out of that there. And was just able to literally sail by him there. The top speed in that Beamer with that lovely drive out of the corner was just enough to get him by and through. So Gary Smith now down into P6 there. Pooley still looking for a way. Pooley's dreaming of that move to happen against Matty Gamble. And it hasn't happened nearly 25 minutes into this race. Marco O'Leary is literally behind Cops there with Castellano right there. Simsik and Booten still having a battle. Then behind them you've got Orlando and Kowalski having a battle. Then Oliver Anderson has a train now. So you have then Mr. Horvat, Miller, Marquez, Pedro Barta, Migioli. So from P15 down to P20 are all within about 2 seconds of each other. The lovely sound of that Alexis though. He's doing what he can to stay ahead, which is nice to see. And then as we see that Garaman, he's just after getting by Wilson. Let's have a quick look at that side by side. Tiny bit of touching as you're going to it's going to happen around here no matter what. And Gary Smith is in the pits. So Gary's decided now to make his move and try and get into some free there. So let's see, has anyone took tyres out of the pitters? So Gary has not. That was a splash and dash. So Gary's already coming back out. Chris Tedder was a splash and dash. Solis was a splash and dash. Hewlett was 100% tyres. And on Friday, splash and dash. Maybe a bit of damage fixing. Novinity was splash and dash. Finley Gamble was a tyre change, to be fair. So, interesting stuff there. Only 2 people have decided for tyres. The rest are splashing and dashing, even with these massively hot conditions there. As we jump on with Cops there. Bit of damage on that BMW, as you can see, on the carbon BMW. And then you've got Lowry and then Castellano, both in M4 Squadra Corsa Racing liveried cars. Morris Bhutan is right behind Simsik, and then there's a bit of a gap between the second to second. Then Oliver Anderson, the train that he is. That's just a mighty sight, that. I'm loving that we still, even without the LFM bop, have people in Hondas, Bentleys, Lexuses. It's exactly what we like to see. A little mixture of everything. Orlando's doing a phenomenal job as one of the silver Ram cars. Is absolutely flying. T. Miller is in the pits. Oh, Cops and Batek. Batek's going to be massively under pressure there. Cops still gets sideways, but seems to have got the job done. He has. Batek doing his usual Batek flashing. That was about 500 flashes in one go. That is Batek, and again with the flashers. Oh, he is so lucky. That could have been a lot worse. I don't know why he's flashing, because that was his fault. When you're behind and you hit someone in the rear, it is your fault, Batak. The mad Polish man. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do it, Batak. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But he's got through, so I'll give him more faith there. Or probably not as much faith as I should have. He gets massively sideways. That McLaren looks like he's seen better days by the looks of it there. That looks like... Then we've got Warren and Wilson. Warren losing position. Dara Walsh gaining as we have Aaron Sparks in the pits. And then we have Loris Ferretti in the pits as well. Jumping back on with Miller though. He's looking to try and get a wipe back by Walker there. Then we have Giuseppe Castellano is also in the pits now. So we're starting to see a few of the drivers now in around the 30-minute mark jump in for their pit. Interesting to see, will Giuseppe go for tyres only or does fuel splash and dash? Splash and dash. Splash and dash. Craig Aaron has changed tyres. Ferretti's changing tyres. Finley's only 4 people so far have changed tyres. Although over half the grid still are yet to pit as well, so doesn't really mean too much yet. It'll be interesting to see what the others do, but if you're going to do the tyres, you might as well come in this lap if you're going to go for that 2-stop strategy and make them work. But I have to say, Vining and Thomas don't really need to do a thing. They're just racing in tandem here, really showing what the guys are up to. TNSR, of course. Michael Thomas does have an amazing YouTube channel, but I know he's not going to be streaming as much, but he's very insightful. He does do driver coach training as well, from what I've seen in one of his YouTube posts. So if you are looking for a bit of sim mentoring, I'm sure give him a shout. Obviously his pace is quite evident there, but I'm sure give him a shout if you want some one-on-one mentoring there, and he will help you get a bit faster. Batek showing us how to drift here. He's giving it everything in P7 at the minute. Cops behind though getting a bit too close and had to get on the brakes and ruined himself that corner. They're really on it there. Then you've got Simsik, Orlando, Kowalewski, then behind them, although Kowalewski's now in the pits. Oliver Anderson has stayed out there. Oliver Anderson now back up into P12 in that car. Orlando doing a great job there as well for M4 Skodra Orsa. And we are halfway through this race and it's been absolutely full of action. So Walker, how long will you stop for? 43 seconds. That was a bit of damage, tyre change, the full shebang I'd say for you. Polycott, Warren, Horvath, Kowalewski, all in the pits there. So the pit lane is absolutely flying around. Not many people. It looks like Horvath's going to do tyres though. Possibly Nathan Warren. Possibly. Because he's still stopped. I would say definitely Horvath's doing tyre change there. Let me see. Nathan Warren's definitely a tyre change now at this stage. Andy Polycott's definitely a tyre change at this stage. Kowalewski also going to be 19 seconds he was stopped. So no, not for him. That was probably damage and fuel more than anything else. Well, a good few people have opted in the silver and AM category to change tyres. Vining and Thomas are both in the pits. These guys sticking together in the first and second. And away they go. And their liveries are done by Positive Perception with Mark Rattenbury there. Oh, Cups into the pits there. They're seeing a yellow bit on it. And Batek is in the pits. So that puts Simsik now. But Matthew Gamble is now essentially leaving this race with Jason Pooley in P2. Chico, Tedder has not been killed yet. Tedder has pitted quite early in the race, I think, to try and build himself a gap, and he's now in P22. But I'd say after all the commotion, because he has got quite a bit of traffic there, I would say Tedder's going to be in and around P7, 8, that kind of area. So it'll be interesting to see, has that early stop paid off. And Chico, it's been quite unusual to see people have gone for, a lot more people have gone for splash and dash over changing tyres here, even though the tyre changes here I think is more vital with it, because the track temperature's been 40 plus degrees. So it's not been easy, as Bhutan has got by Simsik there as well. Let's go back and have a quick look at this one here. Bhutan behind, Simsik I think got a little bit unstable on the carbon. Oh, Bhutan does do a little bit of ascend, but Simsik kind of just has to succeed that one there, and away they go from that one as we stop with that. Oh, and we go back on to them actually crashing. Oh, Jesus. Right, let's see how the crash happened. This is the Bhutan and Simsik parade. Simsik gets it wrong. Yeah, got it wrong, and Bhutan had done nothing wrong there, and that was very unfortunate. I'm sure the stewards will look at that one after the race. Wowzers. Well, it's been quite an interesting one so far. There hasn't been that many incidents, so it is actually rare just to see that. Oh, yeah. It's not showing the thing. Let me see if I can get it up really quickly. I'll go to broadcast. Our track's down to 27 degrees now, so it's after dropping considerably. It was set up at over 40 degrees, so interesting that. I'll have to have a look. I have a feeling what's happened as well is the server. So Vining, let me go back here and have a look at these guys. Where are they? So Michael Thomas and Vining as we won. Both of them, Thomas and Vining, stopped for tyres, but Vining stopped 4 seconds longer than Michael Thomas, which is what's given Michael Thomas the lead. There was about a second and a bit's gap between them, and now that, yeah, Thomas has come back out 2.5 seconds ahead, so that makes absolute sense. And Thomas now is stuck behind Wilson, and of course they're entitled to fight. It is track position, regardless of the pit stop being done or not. And people, Leanfar Sim Racing is officially going to be live from now on, so watch Chico's streams as well. He's an amazingly talented driver. Obviously races for our team in the iRacing side of things, and races with a different team then for the ACC. He's an admin in our league, but he is an absolute wealth of knowledge, so if you want to learn a few things as well, I know I was talking about Michael Thomas, definitely look up Chico Leanfar. Leanfar Sim Racing on YouTube there as well. So what happened that Chris is 6 seconds behind Gary? Did Gary stop longer? Both of them stopped for 6 seconds, so Heather's jumped Gary somehow. Gary might have had an issue somewhere. I haven't seen what happened there. There's just been so much action going on with Oliver Anderson and Aaron Holloway on opposite ends of the pit lane there. Oliver Anderson's having a great race in the Lexi. And of course, Matty Gamble was sitting P3 and is in P1 now. If Matty Gamble splashes and dashes, this could make an interesting race. Matty Gamble could try and pull off beating these guys. Although Thomas and Vining are going to be on newer tyres, it's going to be quite interesting. Marquez behind Simsik there. Simsik, of course, has that bit of damage on the front now from the murder of Bhutan. Vining has got by Wilson eventually as well, so he's now 2.3 seconds off Thomas as well. So he's doing his best to pull that, and Tether half a second off Wilson as well. It's been quite a busy race to try and commentate on because there have been battles everywhere. Solis and Miller side by side as well. I just see that both changing from time to time, but it looks like Miller has got the job done for now. That's really not a great view. We'll go on to this one. Who's braver? Orlando coming out of the pits as well now. That puts Tether up into P15, so Tether's moment of genius could be working out well for him now. He wasn't getting involved in those mad races. Michael Thomas is being pretty much left by Migioli. There's no point saying anything else. Oh, that looks like that backmarker McLaren needs to get back into the pits and fix that. He's drove from nearly lap 2 or 3 with huge frontal damage. Gary must have made a mistake. I'll see, can I pull up anything here? What number is Gary Smith? 635. Okay, 39 minutes ago. Let's see what this was. Oh, Gary was letting them by. Oh. Oh, let's look at that one again. That was... Can I get back here and do a helicam on this one? Oh, side by side. Oh, wow. I'll let the stewards look at that one after. I won't even talk about it. Could have been worse, could have been better. Yeah, some people quit early. There's only about 6 or 7 that pit early, and that was kind of more near to the back. Chris was the first one to pit out of everybody. Craig Hewlett and Batek added there. Batek's just after getting by though. Although Craig's looking to get back by here. It's massive damage on the front of Batek's car. Hewlett side by side. I think that's a very brave man to be going side by side with Batek when there's a corner. Craig has balls of steel. Yeah, it seems to be that way. Where's Florian? Florian. There we go. Florian is in P29 at the minute. So Florian he changed for tyres though as well. So he was 35 seconds stationary. So the race should come back to him maybe later on as the tyre wear becomes an issue. That's on Friday. I heard us doing donuts there. Oh yeah, we came on it way too late. Giving a little indicator, showing off to the crowd so you get some style points. Looked like he was in a higher gear with the way he was going. Woo. Hewlett's still fighting with Batek. Orlando fighting with Anderson. Although Anderson's letting him... Boy, no he doesn't. Oliver Anderson sees the dive bomb, and Oliver Anderson, being very experienced, lets him go and then gets the cut back on him. And Tom Solis says, "She'll give me a little look here as well, will you?" Tom trying to send it around the outside. Orlando over defends that, and Tom Solis is going to have the run now and the better line into the next part of this. So these are side by side here. Solis just ahead. Yeah, I think Lyric they should, because if he's changed tyres, there's definitely places for him to get there as well. And as this is after happening, I'm just going to have to jump back, because it looks like Hewlett's literally just got by Mr. Batek coming down the straight. At least this time he was ahead. Craig leaves plenty of room for Batek there as well, so great job for Craig as we come back off the replay now. Delighted to see that, and that's interesting for you, Chico, being the manager of the ACC side of things. Oh, Wilson's after having a moment there, but yeah, it's great to see Craig Hewlett's actually enjoying the race, and he's doing very well. Craig Hewlett could be on for top 10 here today as well, all depending. So Marquez, Barta, Bouton, Michael Thomas, as you see there, has Vinan right behind him now. These guys in a league of their own here. As we see, Marco Lowry's in the pits, and that looks like no, is this Simsic behind? No, it's not. That looks like one of the back markers there. That is, of course, then Loris Ferretti. So, battles on track. You've got Marquez, Barta, Bouton, Vining and Thomas, Tedder and Wilson, Castellano and Healy, Solis and Anderson, Orlando, Miller, Kowalski, Nathan Warren, Dara Walsh, the fight of the Bentleys going on there at the minute. And then there's a second or two between some of these. Lowry's in the pits there now, and Wilson's in the pits. It's going to change things around a bit as well. So Matthew Gamble's after pulling out now a bit of an advantage on Pooley. I wonder, was Pooley's fighting hard earlier on, cooking those tyres a bit, and Gamble's just able to kind of get a little bit of breathing space now as well, which would be interesting. Matthew Gamble's going to just do the usual. He'll pit within the last 5 to 10 minutes of the race. So that's Wilson still in the pits there. Bouton, Marquez, Thomas, all at it. So it looks like Thomas has Marquez between him and Vining as well, which is a nice little thing for him. The guys can flash all they want, but also the lads ahead are entitled to their position. They're not being absolutely overlapped. Bhutan, though, given room. And that was quite evident. He let off the throttle a little bit there to let him by. And Bhutan will probably have to wait until the end of the straight to possibly let them by. Vine just has to hold on, but is losing time then out to Mr. Thomas's Piccioni is now in the pits as well. So Dino is in the pits. So this is not good for Vining because he has Bhutan's let him by just there. So Mako Lowry's in the pits then as well. Look at this here. You've got Castellano, Healy, Wilson. It's getting all quite close. Kowalski, Orlando back here as well. Solis and Anderson having a nice battle here now as well. Liam Smith, that 2ID erection, or the delivery's giving him an erection. Here you go, Liam. Don't ever say I didn't give you a boner. To be fair, it is a lovely looking livery. And Matty's a good lad driving it. Shame there's some bollocks called Liam Smith that drives one as well. Then a very handsome lad called Glenn. And then the crazy older Ferrari of Darius as well. Some say the 2ID guys love to have pillow fights after a race. We jump back on with Boynan though while I'm talking shite, as he is starting to kind of catch back up to Michael Thomas now again. Of course, they are fighting for genuine position there. Solis has got by Anderson when all this was going on. Is that a car just parked at the side of the road? That's Novinito. He's having a tough race, but he just needs to keep it going. Kowalski then with Orlando. Kowalski on the inside. Simon Kowalski he's after getting the move done, and it looks like he'll dictate the next corner or two as well, which is quite nice to see. Oh, watch out though ahead. Healy was off the track for a minute. I did see yellow, but it's back going. Bart and Miglioli are in the pits also, to be aware of that one there. Vining is back over Mr. Thomas yet again. Back further, Nathan Warren's looking for a way by Elliot Levin with Darrow Walsh a little bit off them now at the minute. So there is a bit of mixed cars here going on. Nathan Warren looking for the job done. Beamer versus Bentley. Now, I'm sorry, right, Liam? I will stop this stream and have an argument with you. How do you say the irony that Glenn is the least good looking? Glenn is a reflection of perfection. You're just jealous that you didn't get Glenn's looks. That's all it is, Liam. And Pedro Barta is leaving the pits. That's Pooley behind him. So Matty Gamble then is coming out. So Pooley's after jumping Gamble through the pits there. Not good for Matty Gamble. Although Pooley looks like it was a drive-through because time stop was 0. Matty Gamble 5 seconds. So do you know what? That's probably good. So that looks like Pooley, unfortunately, has to do another pit stop. And you do not want to get a drive-through here. You lose 39 seconds between post to post. That is very, very tough for Pooley. So Vining is right there. I'm going to jump back on because Solis is now attacking Healy ahead. Tom Solis having a great fight. He's pitted as well. So guys, Tom Solis is looking tasty for possibly a top 10. Could be what you could be smelling here as well. So these guys that have pitted earlier starting to magically appear. Tethers and P8 were a guest. Bhutan's still yet to pit. Simsik is still yet to pit. Tether could possibly be P6. Matty Gamble sitting essentially in P1 if Pooley does have to pit again, if my data is correct, which I will be assuming it is because everyone else's data is right there. Jumping on with Orlando. Very tough there. Holloway and Batek. These used to be absolute enemies in season 1. And I told them one day to become best friends, and they seem to be very good best friends there now. So they'll be enjoying this bit of a battle. And anyone, as I was stating earlier, Aaron Holloway has agreed to let me make a livery of anything I want, and he's going to drive it for a full season. Now, as it is Supercharged Motorsports, I will allow anything to go for this. So if you have any disgusting ideas or hilarious ideas, let me know. He's going to have to drive it, and I will make it. That's his own fault. It's his own fault for agreeing to it. Tech seems to have him covered for now. I'm going to jump back onto Horvat now and Miglioli as they were side by side, and Horvat got the inside line. Miglioli was trying to just stick it around the outside, but nothing he could do there. So you've got Wilson and Craig Hewlett also in the pits now. So I thought there must be drive-thrus. That's going to be killer for Craig. If that is the case, he was on for a phenomenal position today. So Tedder is in P7 with 2 other guys yet to pit as well. Can we get back to Matty bringing it home? Mate, there's still 10 minutes to go. Still 10 minutes to go. I'd love to see Matty do this. Michael Thomas is only 4.3 seconds off, and you can see him in the background here. Those guys had fresher tyres, Liam, so this will be quite interesting. In terms of lap time, Matty Gamble is nearly a second slower than both of the cars in second and third. Matty Gamble a 1:34.562 last lap. Michael Thomas a 1:33.607, and Chris Vining doing the fastest lap of the race last lap. Oh no, he didn't. So that was the lap before. Sorry, last lap for Matty Gamble is a 1:35.917, 1:34.2. So that's over a second faster as Michael Thomas, finding a 1:34.1. So Matthew has absolute a workload of... Oh, Tedder is up at the P6. I have to say that was a genius call by Tedder. And Bouton is still yet to pit. Tedder could be up to P5 after this. By pitting early, getting out of the action. But I'm going to have to jump back onto where the action is at the minute. You've got Kowaleski, Orlando, Holloway with Batek, Miglioli, Horvat, Germani, Wilson, and then you've Walker kind of with Darrell Walsh just there, Aaron Sparks behind them. So it is picking up. It's down to 3 seconds between Matty and the guys ahead. Yeah, the advantage of fresh tyres, mate, at 1.5 seconds you're looking nearly. We'll wait for the next laps to come through just to give you a full fresh update with that one. But Matty has bigger kahunas. Matty Gamble, I can't speak highly of him enough, Liam. We all know how much I really do admire Matty's driving, but it's a big ask. So this lap for Matty Gamble, 1:35.2. For Michael Thomas, a 1:34.2, still a second faster. For Vining, that look at 1:34.0. So yeah, Matty Gamble, once they get to him, he's going to have a lot of work cut out to try and get by, because that's at least a second. So Bouton come by the pits. Tedder up into P5. Looks like Gary Smith's going to get up into P6. Castellano might get into P7. Go on, Giuseppe. Absolutely brilliant. Matty Gamble 2.4 seconds in the lead. It's all coming down to this one while we're looking at that. The guy who was fighting with Matty Gamble, but unfortunately got himself a drive through, Mr. Pooley, now fighting for P9 and P8. That's definitely a tough one for him this evening, with Bouton in the pits there coming out. Kowalski looking for a way. Oliver Anderson as well is having a great race, by the way, driving the Lexi. So it looks like Bouton's just got out ahead of him. No, Oliver got it. Oliver got it. Ho ho. Go on, Oliver. I love the fact he's driving that car as well. Matty Gamble's down to 1.7 seconds. You won't look at that just yet, because there is battles everywhere. I want to try and give everyone a bit of action before we jump on for the last about 5 or 6 minutes and see who wins this race. So Levine doing a great job. Sparks is now behind Darrell Walsh as well. So Aaron Sparks coming back up into this one here. Then we've got Finley Gamble there as well. and Friday doing a phenomenal job also. Matty Gamble, 1.5 second splits, Thomas, himself and Vining. We're asking a lot of Matty, Liam. We're asking a lot of Matty. I'll keep an eye on that as the race continues around. Holloway looks like he's going to go for it on Batek though. Gets too wide, gets into the ground. Batek says, you know what, son? Not today. Great stuff. So still at 1.5 seconds on Matty Gamble. So Matty doing kind of enough at the minute. Let's see what it's like near the end. Nothing is guaranteed in this life, and especially in sim racing. .3 seconds now, so it is starting to go in slowly but surely. I'm sure the nerves will be there. Pooley and Cops as well. There's still absolute mega battles going on. It's going to be so hard to pick. Obviously, we'll have to go on to the lead at some stage, but there's mega battles still throughout this grid. Look at this. Switch back around. Orlando has to stay behind Miller, but they're side by side. Miller, though, does have the better line. Liam, I believe. So here we are, 5 minutes to go. I'm going to jump on now because this man here, Matty Gamble, is going to be fighting tooth and nail to get himself a lovely win here this evening. This man here is going to try and take it away from him, and of course his teammate behind him as well. The way I look at this fight, the two guys stopped, they got the tyres, they felt they had to come to an advantage. Matty Gamble literally in his name, but gambled on his consistency. And Matty Gamble, as we know, I don't think there's many drivers out there that would beat him in terms of genuine consistency on the track, in terms of lap after lap. To be fair, he rarely makes major errors. I think I've seen one error of him in Alton Park, and that was a very, very rare error, and that was even when he was leading the race. So yeah, honestly, I do hope for Matty that he does get this today. It's definitely not going to be easy. Matty Gamble has upped his pace. He's a 134.5 versus Thomas a 134.1. So that's, look at the difference though between fresh tyres and old tyres now. You can really see it under the braking and then the corner exit as well. Matty is going to do his very best, but is his very best going to be enough? Not too long left to find out. I'm sorry guys, there's battles everywhere. I do want to try to get everything, but at the minute this is a huge battle. It's for the race win, and if Matty Gamble pulls this off, I think he's the first person outside of T1SR to get a race win here this season. So this for me is genuinely very interesting, and Michael does this, he enjoys this and has fun with it. Matty Gamble's the exact same. Vining's dropped off, Vining's sitting back. I'm going to watch this race and maybe hope for fireworks between the two guys and then get by, but you can see the difference there, the speed and the smoothness that Michael Thomas can get in, and you don't see the usual flashing lights tactic or anything like that. Michael Thomas just sitting patiently, gives the respect that Matty deserves as well, and they just get on with the good thing of fighting. We will get at least one more lap, so we will have one more lap after this, so 2 laps to go. Can Matty Gamble hold off Mr. Michael Thomas? Oh, you can just see the difference in pace. Matthew's not like destroying his line. He's not trying to go on the defensive line. He's still driving exactly where he needs to. This will be huge for Matty, for his confidence. Michael Thomas just sitting there. I think Michael's just kind of waiting. See, can having him right behind him, put on the pressure. Can he get a better drive out of the corner? Look at the grip though. There's huge grip difference there. Thomas is kind of sitting, waiting, looking. Matty Gamble gone for a much more defensive line there and done the right thing. It's held off an attack from Thomas this time round. A lap and a half is all Gamble needs to do now. I don't think Michael will go for a crazy last bonsai or... Oh, look at the difference in braking though. Thomas on the brakes about 50 metres later there. Able to carry so much more speed. Confidence that he has. Trying to pretend that he's going to go for the inside. He's going to have a much nicer drive out of the corner here. But Matty Gamble just needs to hold the inside line here. He can force. Lovely stuff from Matty Gamble. Michael Thomas doesn't go for the move. Can Matty Gamble hold on to it? This is it. It's the last lap. Heartbreaking if he loses it here. Thomas going to go for the move. I knew it was coming. I think Matty did too. Although Thomas gets it wrong. Matty Gamble's on the inside. Thomas cuts across Gamble. Gamble's coming back though. Gamble goes for the cut back there. Both of them go very sideways. Matty Gamble might have a better drive here. They're coming up. He's getting massively squeezed. Matty Gamble is the inside line. This is getting big. You've got the two T1SR boys going for it. Matty Gamble still is the inside line. Thomas on the outside. Thomas runs wide. Matty Gamble absolutely on it again. Thomas now is the inside line. I think into the next corner here. Matty Gamble though is ahead. But Thomas absolutely there has to rely on those tyres. Then you're Vining trying to send up the inside now. Matty Gamble. And unfortunately for Matty, with half a lap to go, it is down to having the older tyres that has really got on this one here. But valiant effort for Matty. If he didn't try that, he was going to finish third regardless. So why not go for here? And he's still fighting for P2. Vining looks like, yeah, he has the grip as well. And Matty Gamble, massive respect for you here. That was a brilliant showcase there. And yeah, very tough run, but Michael Thomas comes around for P1, gets it on the last lap. Vining comes home in P2. Matty Gamble in P3. Then we have Dino Piccioni in P4. Coming around with Chris Tedder as well, doing a phenomenal job then up in P5 as Piccioni comes across the line. We'll see Tedder coming into the background there now. He's going to be P5. With his good friend then Gary Smith in P6. Castellano coming around for P7. Copes then in P8. Pooley P9. Simsick is going to be P10. Unless Tom Solis wants to cover anything there. Tom Solis, so phenomenal race from him. Starting P18 up into P11 there. The most positions was Kowalski 11. Miller got 12 positions. Holloway up 14 positions. That's been some great racing, guys, this race. Some donuts there. Is that Matty? No, it's not Matty. That is, it looks like Cups doing a little bit of donuts there as well, which you love to see. Wow, Oliver Anderson then P15. Orlando P16. Aaron, as I was saying, is 17th. Gets ahead of Batek in P18. Wilson P19. Wow. That was absolutely brilliant stuff there. From start to finish. Great racing as everyone's getting a bit of donuts in there as well. Which we do love. But yeah. That has been a great race there. But yeah, that is it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you'll enjoy watching back the race. Thanks for the amazing racing this evening. Merging it all into one server, I think it paid dividends to the racing that we've seen out there. It was so close from top to bottom there. And a lovely showing there this evening. We will see you again on Sunday for the 2.4. I might see if one of the lads, either Ricky or Aces, can cover that one. Just to let my voice come back still, because it's starting to feel like it's going again already. And yeah, thanks for the support. And we'll see you for the next race.